to everyone in the collective. So, we are tapping into some divine energy at this time with all this high vibrational love energy on this beautiful and blessed day, as every day is collective. I thank everybody for tuning in and tapping in. If you're a subscriber, watcher, viewer, liker, welcome back. I pray I said something that you liked because why else would you be back here? Okay. So I thank you for returning. I thank you for supporting the channel, the platform. I thank you to everybody in the collective for all the energetic love, the comments, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the constructive criticism, as well as donations, whether it's energetic or monetarily. It is all greatly appreciated, and I ask that you continue to come back and continue to share the experience of healing, evolution, growth, and ascension with me. Okay? We grow through shared experiences. I love that you share your energy with me, that you open yourself up, your energetic field up to me for me to give out the best, most productive, clear, and concise messages as possible as I open my energy up to you when I give out these reads. We always want to embody protection and pray for protection at any and all given times. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I am Shay, the Dual Alchemist, your dual natured being. I may look very pink right now, but there is a black side to me. I'm kind of extreme, I'm either pink or I'm either black, But anyways, I pray that you stick around. I may say something that, tickles your fancy, something that brings some type of happiness or light to you in your life if you're going through a dark time or a dark night of the soul. I may say something that adds to confirmation of what you already instinctually and intuitively know. Nonetheless, I give out messages from the divine of truth, clarity, and awareness. We just never know how they're going to come out dealing with me. Also, if you are new to the channel, the reason why I call myself Shay, I'm Shay. Hi. Vashe. But anyways, the dual alchemist, because I am a dual nature being who embodies both light and dark, masculine and feminine, and I embrace all parts of myself here. I never deny my dark side here because to deny it is to allow it to go unmonitored, go unchecked. So I embrace my dark side just as much as my light, as I am both here. And they allow me to tap into the energy as best as possible. And I also have learned in, embracing both light and dark of myself, I have also learned how to use, be selective with which energy I want to use for whatever particular situation arrives in my life. Okay. So that's another reason why we embrace all parts of ourselves. Okay. So, as it is Valentine's Day today, congratulations to everybody that is celebrating, whether you're celebrating with a loved one, family members, with the Most High God source, with yourself, you're taking yourself out. I'm happy for everyone. And I want to stay in this good energy collective. I had me a cute little date, y'all. It was the cutest date ever, like we went to the laundromat. I washed like 4 loads of clothes. It was the bee's knees for Valentine's Day. You know what I mean? Yeah, Valentine's Day. Yeah, that was a cute little date that I went on. Nah, but I'm happy I'm happy to be able to wash clothes. Hell, that's one thing about not being at my other house and it being in a transition of moving is not having my freaking washer and dryer. As I wash and dry clothes every 3 days. I have a set schedule, but I had really fun, a lot of fun on my date to the laundromat today. And anyways, I went collective. Story time, let me share for a little bit. My 16-year-old daughter, I cannot take her anywhere. So after the rose thing, for anybody that watched the little short live I did earlier, after the rose thing, we pull up to the laundromat, and it's in a whole other city, but mind you, small here, it's small there. Typically, if you're there, you might see somebody that's from here, the town that I live in. So sure enough, we're at the laundromat. It's next to the gas station. Here come one of my little quote unquote, just somebody I like to flirt with every now and then. I'm single. I can do that. I'm single. I can do that. So here he come, and here my daughter. I promise I'll be feeling like she the parent sometimes in those situations. So she comes, he's speaking. He's like, "What you got going?" I'm like, move around, just move around. We crack a couple of jokes and stuff. And so she come and she like, nope. I'm gonna let you know something right now. My mama can't talk to a man, look at a man, speak to a man, exchange numbers with a man, think about a man. And I'm just like, I'm the mother. You already done took my whole rose from me that somebody gave to me at Walmart. Nice gentleman. And I mean chucked my whole beautiful rose across the freaking store. And just like I just can't date. I just can't date. They like, no, we just have to select your person for you. Like, I don't think that that's how that's gonna work. But whatever. So I had a crack up. That was my date to the laundromat, y'all. It's like twitching. You said it's twitching. Hold on. There's no telling. Let me see. I might have to get on my other phone. That's another thing. Being on somebody else's Wi-Fi is from a different company. I know mine's was kind of shitty at the house, but I mean, it's gonna get, collective. It's gonna be so. I can order some more Wi-Fi to put here, but here's just temporary for me for right now. So do I really want to do that? I really don't think so. I really don't. I don't know. I'm debating on it because I have it's so many devices that are on this Wi-Fi, and then I try to do live on here and it's all twitchy and glitchy, but I guess if it's a little bit pixelated and y'all can hear me, that's the best that I can hope for at this time. So we're going to get into an energetic read collective for the day. Ooh, so what do we have here? We have Ascended Masters. You may be going into an ascension of Ascended Mastery here. And you are being called possibly to educate on God. And the educating on God, it could be as simple as educating one on oneself here. Another thing that I was going to share, collective, was that my biggest lesson that I learned in every trial and tribulation, in every karmic cycle, in every mishap, in every blockage, in every obstacle, in every wound, in every hurt, in every trauma, the biggest and greatest thing that I learned was a lot of those things happen because I got too far away from God. I was thinking about that on my way home. Every time I got too far away from God, that's when the worst things started happening to me. And this has nothing to do with me going to church or you going to church. It has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about getting away from God, when putting so much of myself into a connection, a relationship, or whatever was going on at that time in my life. And to the point where I was not being filled back up equally. And then I would start losing myself. And as I start losing myself, I found myself, wavering or getting away from God, further and further away from God, right? And that's when the worst of the things would happen, So that's one of the biggest lessons. I've really been thinking about that. And every time, it doesn't matter if I didn't have people to support me or, love me or anything like that, help me heal, pick me up, lend me a helping hand or anything. It never failed that when I called on God, and I mean every single time. When I called on God, God answered surely. And it was like, well, what did you learn? And it would be like, I already knew. When I was in the karmic cycle, in the karmic connections, in the karmic relationship, in the karmic lifestyle, every time that I did something wrong, I knew it was wrong. There was no excuse. I could never say to myself, I didn't know it was wrong. And then I would get confirmation that it was wrong because I would lose things immediately after. Let's say when I broke up with my ex and stuff, or we would split up and stuff. When he would leave, let's say when I start going through my lack lifestyle, my finances, I lost my really, really, really good career that I had. And even though I had like a little some side hustles and stuff like that, with my talents and making money, it wasn't enough. But I realized that when he was around, money would just and I would go broke. We would be flat ass broke, and we'd be sitting up looking at each other. He looking at me stupid, and I'm looking at him like, okay, well, when you gonna put your part in? Like what happened? Was your beginning hustled? Was this just like a ruse to get into my life to make me think that you had the same hustle in your blood as me, the same ambition, the same drive? And it had gotten to the point where it was just like he'll look at me and I'll look at him, and it's like, well, I done exhausted all my financial resources. Where do you come in at? And it's like, but long story short, that would usually end up in some type of argument or something like that. And he would leave, or I would put him out, or he would move out temporary. And I mean, like the moment I would be flat ass broke, not two pennies to rub together. And the moment that he got his shit and moved out, even it was for a day or a week or a month, because there was a period of time he had moved out for a long time. But as soon as he moved out, I swear it'd be later that day, the next day, money, like that, money, money. And so, and things they would just get greater. And so I already knew, like, why you keep letting him back? He's the one that's blocking your blessings here. I guess I had to go through the motions, right? And there were many occasions, many instances in that connection, not just that one, but particularly that one, because that is the most recent, right? There were many instances where I would always hear God, or let's say it's my inner voice or my highest self. I would always hear like, okay, you just gonna keep on letting them back in, knowing he the blockage to your blessings. We already done showed you that, confirmed it to you, gave you dreams, everything. You just gonna keep letting them back in until you just have nothingness. Is that where you want to go? Because we're gonna let you go there, right? Like seriously, it would be like me talking to myself, but more than anything, it would be God talking to me. Like, okay, well, my child, you have free will. I'm gonna let you go ahead and keep on doing this shit to yourself until you get down to nothingness. But you know where you're gonna end up right back at, right? And I mean, before I even got down, I mean, to my lowest point, I would. I was like, yeah, I know I'm probably gonna get to the point where I'm at my lowest point, and then I'm not gonna have anybody to call on but God. So I let myself get almost there, precipice of the lowest point, and I was like, God, I'm tired of being hard headed, and it's like, well, I'm here. I've been waiting on you to call me. I've been waiting on you. Like, I've been trying to get you. I try to catch you, grab a hold of you before you got down to this point here. But if this is what it takes for you to hear me, for you to listen, so I'll let it be. So, and that's for somebody in the collective, some of you in the collective. So you know that like God is not punishing us. God loves us enough to give us free will here to love who we want to love, do what it is that we want to do. And we know it's wrong. We know it's wrong. We can't lie about that, right? It's time for us to accept that as grown-ups, as people that are in your ascension, your healing, your evolution here, your awakening. We can accept that we knew it was wrong. We did it anyways, going against ourselves here. So, but this past time, when that happened, I've never been down so low. I've never been down so low. Ever. And I was so, down bad. Like, I couldn't look anywhere but up. And I was like, I let myself get all the way down here. And I look back. I cannot blame God. I couldn't look at God like, God, why you do this to me? There's no way that I would ever fix my mouth and tell God, why you let this happen to me? Because I knew better. I knew what God was trying to show me, trying to warn me, and I still went against that. Okay. So one, there was no way to go but up. But two, you get down to such a lowest point like I was, and you was like, never again. And you get fed the fuck up with your own self. You hear me? You get fed up with your own self. Like, did nobody else, like, on one hand, two people were in a connection that caused a decline in your life in such a way as this. But you really the big part of the responsibility, you as in me, right? I'm like, didn't nobody do this to you? You did this to yourself. You knew. And another thing I'm gonna say is a part of accountability, right? Because transparency. Uh, Quite a few times I made reckless ass decisions and stuff because I knew God was there and I knew God was going to pull me out of it. And I can contend that is more than likely why this last time it got so bad. Because God, like, okay, I know that as soon as you get down to a certain point, you're gonna call on me and I'm gonna be there for you, but you doing this shit because you want to be in your fleshly self, and you still have parts of you need to heal. And you're gonna be able to call on me, but I'm gonna make sure that you fall all the way on your ass here. So this time when you fall, you will never want to be back there again. You'll never want to disobey me again. You'll never want to go against your own self again. You'll never put up with anything that you put up with before. Okay? And so now I'm in this energy where if it looked like it is going to remove me too far, as close as I am to God right now, that's who I'm close to. That's it. That's all. If it looks like it's gonna move me an inkling away from God, it gotta go. It gotta go. But that's a love for myself and a love for the people that I encounter as well. With today being a high vibrational love day here, that's a part of love. You gotta be tough. You gotta have tough love on yourself as well here. Confirmation twice on my phone, collective. So, faith without works is dead. See how funny God is? Like the divine, the ancestors are. See how funny they are? You have all the faith in the world, but if you're not putting that faith into action here in your life, it means diddly squat. Just like me, there is never a time in my life, no matter what, even when I was a child, that I didn't believe that God existed. I never not believed in the existence of God. It was there was a lot of illusions painted. I thought God showed herself through the people around me. Like, I thought that's how God showed up. And, I just came to the conclusion that God was within me here. Okay. But there was never a point that I didn't believe in God. But so when I went through life, going through all the through the certain lessons, doing the wrong things and stuff, I always knew God was there. I always knew God was watching. Always knew. Like, it's just facts. I can't really say moving forward from there. I'm still pondering on a description of dang, collective. One thing about, like, okay, one kind of downside to your journey, when you start tapping into your Akashic records and stuff, and I mean the information is, you can't count it. You can't number it. You can't fathom it. You can't. It's so much information. Always, always, always. But some things you are required to not share, or you are required to hold back until a certain time here, right? So it'd be so many things that I like, as transparent as I am with y'all collective, it'd be so many things that I want to share with y'all, but it's certain stuff that it's just not time for me to share. Because maybe it's some of you, maybe it's a lot of you, or maybe it's the cross watchers, the people, the trolls, the people from the fake accounts that are just simply not ready to hear what it is that I have to say or share. Because a lot of people, it's going to hurt real bad. It's going to hurt. God said, don't be boastful about anything but source. Source God, the Most High God source, or whichever your highest power is here. And I'll be glad. I'm like, I can hold water when it comes to people's secrets, but this stuff, I just don't feel like that I should have to gatekeep some of this stuff. Let me tell y'all what happened to me one time. One time I had got on live, and this was last year, May or so, and it's on one of the lives here. And I went to go and share something with the collective, right? And the moment, I know this is going to sound crazy to some people, right? But I promise you, the moment I was sitting right here in this living room, and the moment that I went to go share this information with the collective, everything went blank. It was like, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. The men in black were in this living room. They flashed me. That shit is real. It may not happen exactly like that with the flashers, but they that quick, because in that moment that I was about to share something, I came to the realization that I was here, but I was also in another place, like a place in the sky. If I can explain that. And there were all these people, like all these different beings around me. I bullshit you not. And they were speaking to me. They were telling me things. That's what I was going to reveal. That's what I was getting ready to talk about the conversation that I had in a room with all these other beings. I mean, they look human, you know what I'm saying? But they were all aligned like this, all in a row. And we were having whole discussions. And then all of a sudden I was back here in the living room about to record and about to share that with the collective. Then all of a sudden, blank. I mean, everything. Not, you know how you just like have brain fog? It was deeper than that. It was just like, whoosh, but I was aware that something just got wiped clean from me. And then I had this faint memory of two men standing in this living room in black suits, leaving out of the door. I kid you not. I kid you not. It's so many things that we don't. It's quite unfair. It's so many things that I think people are starting to more than awaken to the fact that it's so much that we once thought that were, not we, but you know, people thought were conspiracy theories here. What they, you know, nobody listened to the whistleblowers. Nobody listened to nobody. And now we have stuff like the Epstein files, the Diddy trial. We have all these things going on here. You know, corrupt agencies and stuff. And this stuff is we got hard, concrete evidence of it now. And it now is just kind of like a lot of people are like, I really don't know nothing, do I? And so with that being said, at least it's a shock factor to a lot of people, but at least collective, it can kind of, for those of you in a collective that weren't really open-minded to other possibilities here, it can kind of open you up. So this is coming. This stuff coming. Listen, the way this stuff about to roll out, you just got to brace yourself. You just got to prepare yourself as best as you can. Some people are a lot more open-minded than others. There will be those that will always be closed-minded. Seeing is believing. And those will be the ones, you know, that saying men's hearts will fail them for what is to come. Because if you haven't opened your mind to infinite amount of possibilities of what is not, what could be, what it is that you don't know, when these things present itself that you thought never existed, of course your heart will fail you. Your body will go into a shock factor here. And so that's why I shared it sounds like the craziest and weirdest stories. A lot of people could be like, man, she has a very vivid imagination. It's very broad and vivid imagination, like, yeah, we could call it that. But there are energies that no longer wish to keep themselves hidden. And this is another thing that I talked about, as they were coming and introducing me. Some of you in the collective, you will be, um, bro, my whole body just went cold, especially the back of my arms and my spine area. Okay, so some of you in the collective, you will be chosen to be intermediaries. And that's for those of you that have opened your mind up to the possibility of that. And everybody is not a believer of intergalactic beings, galactic beings, celestial beings, ethereal beings, beings from other planes of existence, other solar systems, infinite planes of multiverses here, of all kinds of. You can imagine it exists. Okay. So some of you in the collective will be chosen to be intermediaries between those who have yet to grasp the thought of other possibilities. Okay, but you are one that has always instinctually known, but you yourself, you needed to see it to believe it. You need to grasp it. You could have had the dreams, you could get the downloads, you could hear the different languages, the different words, the codes, the transmissions. You see strange things, you experience supernatural things here. The you've seen the ships in the skies for some of you. Okay, so that allows you to open your mind to the possibility of that. So some of you who are willing to accept that challenge, you will be chosen as intermediaries between those who, those who are not like you, and the introduction to new energies. Okay? You may be even called to be a translator between the two or multiple groups here. Okay? There was another thing I got. So yeah, when I gotta hold back, I just gotta hold back. When they talk to you in language like this, like what is that? It's something. It means something. And even if you don't know a language or know a transmission code, the language that is being expressed into you when you get that download, you feel what it means. Like they're not gonna give you the message and you not be able to understand what it means here. Okay, and I know that sounds strange to some people, but it just is. It just is. Okay, and trust me, I don't expect everybody to be like, oh yeah, she right. Like I don't expect that. Child, I'm not worried about that. Law of relativity here suggests that nothing and no one is inherently good or bad. People are complex, and everything is a spectrum of expression, and there is more than one perspective on any given situation or challenge. Law of relativity or relativity. Boy, that's why I be getting mixed up, tongue tied. Spirit say I'm tapped in. Okay, then it's blank on both sides. This is how I do these cards. If it ever goes blank, I move to the next little deck. I've been wanting to do the wild cards collective, but I don't know what's going to come out. Okay, like the first top card on this wild card is MK Ultra. So if any of you are new to the channel, you haven't been around, or I haven't mentioned it enough, these are wild cards. Okay, I decided last year that I was going to create wild cards. We have different topics and subjects in here, and although it's not that thick here, and I will add as I go. Y'all can request stuff. You can leave comments if you like. You can leave comments in the chat on what it is that you may want me to tap into, or discuss a subject on or add a card to the deck, right? And I shuffle these, right? And we never know what's going to come out, but whatever comes out, um, I tap into the divine energy as best as I can, and I discuss whatever comes out, and I mean whatever, and it will get wild over here. This is why this is called the wild card deck, and I mean we discuss all kinds of topics, all the uncomfortable shit here, okay, all the uncomfortable stuff. So that one was MK Ultra. I have site sources for that particular one. I got some information collected. So using our dark natures for good. Didn't I just say that in the beginning? Parables versus realities. I mean, it just never know. Like myths and folklore. Okay. So typically what I was going to do was use these on Wednesdays. It was going to be Wild Card Wednesdays. And this is also when I do Who Knows Uno. If you haven't tapped into that last live I did, where that's the title, you might want to tap into that and you'll see how I do Who Knows Uno. Okay, very powerful energy I'm able to tap into here. But again, we got myths and folklore. And during these wild cards, I don't know when I'm gonna start this, because I was supposed to have started it. I was like, I don't know if they ready for certain stuff in here, like but however I need to be able to explain it to you or give you the knowledge collective, I can do that. I can do that without a shadow of a doubt. And I mean, there's some wild stuff. So, you know, that's basic topic. Religion versus spirituality. That's just kind of like, we're beyond that. You know what I mean? I can dive deep into this. Similarities, differences here. Like, anyways, we have the man or woman of your dreams. That's a topic of discussion. There's another one, conspiracy theories in here. And we just have different ones here. Oh, so I have a couple of these wild cards in this deck. And I'm talking about these subjects and topics. They can get kind of vulgar. Some of them 18 plus. I mean, we will talk about some stuff over here. I don't care. Okay, I'm not shy about any of that stuff. Like we are going to get used to the uncomfortable over here. So there are a couple of wild cards in this deck. So with the wild cards, this is where somebody will suggest something in the collective during the live, and we're gonna tap into it and talk about it. Okay. And again, we never know what could come out. We never know what is going to be chosen here. If I have to choose, I will allow the divine to choose for me. And I'm telling you, a lot of stuff that I have to say gonna make a lot of people mad, because they're gonna be like, no, even if you're on your spiritual path, there's still a lot that we don't understand and overstand. So to even know like etymology, to know what it is that we're calling a word, or we're giving a title or a word to a specific thing and thinking that that's what it is because that's the word or the title we've been taught that applies to that specific thing. And then for me to give a breakdown of why that is not, and you know, stories for other days, man. Like I really can hurt some feelings over here, but not hurting feelings in the way where I make people feel bad about themselves. Hurting feelings in a way that make you take a step back and be like, damn, you gonna think over here on this channel. For real. I'll leave y'all with some knowledge to think. For real, because nothing is as it seems. Nothing. Okay? There's something here about divine timing. So ascended masters here. And like I said, with the I don't even know what to tell y'all. Sometimes I don't know. I don't like, dang, when can I share certain stuff? Like, anyways. This is always the one that bothers me. I was guided to write it, but this one says, I know that you're losing hope and faith in humanity, but keep going. They need you, and you are making a positive change for humanity's sake. And that could be a lot of you in the collective, especially if you have awakened to the fact that you are an earth angel here, green earth grounding. Okay, heart chakra, angel, you're an earth angel. Listen, it's mind over matter. When you tap into those gifts and people around you don't understand what you're going through and they look at you like you weird, like you crazy here, and then people stop answering the phone, they start being weird towards you here, they stop. You also awaken to the fact that you never knew love with the green energy. You never, what, mind over matter, what you thought mattered here, when your mind becomes makes that connection to the spiritual realm here, what you thought matter, matter, physical matter, mattered to you, right? Like, you start really losing hope in all the people around you, everything that you ever knew. Like, in order to gain your spiritual mind, you have to lose your physical mind. And if you're not there yet, you won't know what I'm talking about. Example. I'm gonna show you. I like to point out to people how powerful you are, collective. How powerful we all are, right? So I did the thing with the DNA, the double helix, pairs, all of that. How much your DNA is wound tightly inside of you, because that's how big your energy is, your true energetic self is, right? Set that to the side. So, scientists, the board of medical directors, certified physicians, people with doctorates and masters in medicinal medicines, remedies here, treatments of all kinds, psychologists, everything in all cultures, all across the world. They have all acknowledged this thing called the placebo effect. Okay? So we should all know what that is, right? We hear this term a lot, or we should have, right? So with the placebo effect, what happens is patients suffering from specific illnesses, ailments, diseases, right? And I'm not a physician, I'm just sharing, right? Suffering from those specific things, right? What doctors would do, and this is when they didn't have a lot of cures for a specific thing, or nothing that they none of their normal remedies or prescriptions were working here. So what they would do was try new medicine on that person, that ailment, that disease, whatever it is, right? And they would give it to the patient, but prior to giving to the patient, they would explain to the patient that this is a new trial study medicine. Okay, let's just say it like that, medicine. They don't really know what it's supposed to do, but it's supposed to do X, Y, Z, right? And they would tell the patient here, and they were like, doing trial studies and stuff, it has worked a lot more better than what it is we prescribed you that hasn't worked for you. And we really feel like that this would be the medicine for you that would cure you of your ailment or ease some of the diseases that you have based off of, because of this ailment, right? And so they would give, I want y'all to hear me, they would give the patients this medicine, right? This trial medicine, this new medicine. And whatever the ailment was that the patient was going through, the disease, the infection, whatever it was, it would dissipate. And I'm talking about wide ranges. This was studied around through wide ranges of different ailments, different parts of the bodies, different things, different everything, right? And they would start being cured, right? They would start being cured. So after however long that they administered this to the patient, right? They would get to the end of the trial period and they would say, you've healed tremendously. Either the disease or the ailment is gone. It has died down. It has dissipated a lot, or it has completely disappeared, right? And the patient would be like, the medicine actually worked. And then the doctor would come out and say, that wasn't a medicine. That was a water pill. See, thought, because of everything that I gave you, all the information I gave you, that this was the miracle cure for what it is that ails you, that this would cure you. The whole time you were taking that pill, every time we administered this pill to you, a water pill, right? You thought that it was healing you. So you healed. It is called the placebo effect. So well, I don't know if anybody is catching on to catching on to my drift here, but what that is telling you is that your thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts are healing and they are debilitating. Because 9 times out of a lot of the, and moving forward from that, same case scenario, a lot of these doctors even acknowledge, and even a lot of them quit. They quit medical practice. They acknowledge the fact that a lot of people's ailments were brought on or were onset by their thoughts, by them thinking they were sick, thinking they had an illness, thinking that they had an ailment, thinking they were they were in a negative environment, thinking that things were going to turn out bad. A lot of those things were brought on by the patient's thoughts. Okay? Mind over matter. What you mind, what you think. It is a higher vibration. It is more powerful than what is in this physical realm, and you bring it into the physical realm. As above, so below. As without, so within, or vice versa. Mind over matter. Bro, I just seen Hiller up in here. So, as I was stating, to a lot of people, I may seem weird, crazy, out of my mind. You know, I probably got a couple personalities. Doesn't matter. I don't care. You know why? Who the fuck gonna do something to me? Who? I walk with God. God don't care if I'm weird, strange. God don't care what I wear or don't have. God doesn't care about any of that stuff. Like, who the fuck is gonna do something to me? Who gonna make me feel more of an outcast than I already have? If I lose my mind, I lose my mind. That means I lose everything.